I want to go over some different strategies on making money in real estate, okay? So I want you guys to participate in this. I wrote down 18 different ways that I found. I think some of them are going to be like, what is he talking about? And some of them are going to be very obvious. So can somebody yell out one? Doesn't matter. Be brave. Wholesale. There we go. Okay. We got wholesale. We'll just do one of those, okay? What else? Fix and flip. Flips. Fix and flip. Okay. What do we got?
Long-term rental.
Okay, rentals. All right, what else?
Airbnb.
Airbnb, yes. What else? Wraps. Okay, sub 2. I thought that would be in the top 5. Pace isn't here. Don't tell him. All right, sub 2. What else? Novations. Sneak up on the board. Okay. Just closed one. Go ahead. What else? Seller finance, fantastic. Seller finance, listing, I heard, okay. Hotel, yep. That's kind of a flip, but I'll give it to you. What was a listing? Okay. Listing a property, what else? Commercials kind of fits into this. That's kind of a category as opposed to a strategy. What else? Lease option, who said lease option? There we go, okay, lease option. What else can you do with the lease option? There's also the lease purchase. All right, there we go. We'll talk about that in a little bit. What else? We got the wrap. We got a note. Oh, we got notes. Okay, there you go. That's fine. What else?
Option contract.
Option contract. Okay. What else? House hack. Anybody? Is that a strategy? Hacking it. What else? Burr. There we go. What else? Huh? Group homes, I'm going to put that in rental. It's kind of, I'll do group homes. That's fine. That's fine. It's fine. It's in there, but whatever. What else? Subtail. Okay. Subtail. I do have one more here. What else? Huh? Land's a category, not a strategy. What else? What other exit strategies do we have? Yeah, all these are kind of different exit strategy. These are ways to make money in this business, right? The only other one that I got was kind of a weird strategy, but I'm going to put it on there just because some people get seduced by it, which is where you go and you get a rental property and turn that rental property into an Airbnb and make the Airbnb rental arbitrage, right? I'm putting all this up here because, listen, there are so many different ways, right? And this gets fucking overwhelming. This gets overwhelming if you don't understand when to implement these things, right? And we're getting started. It's like so confusing. There's people here that are like, all I know is wholesale, all I know is fix and flip, all I know is rental, right? Because they all kind of get into those categories, right? There's really 3 main headers here, right? There's the fix and flip, the flipping a property, there's rental properties, and then there's wholesaling, assigning it, right? And then you got all this other ways to kind of make money in those categories. Right? So what is a lead? Anybody want to be brave? Potential income. What's a lead? Okay, it's potential income. Yep, not what I'm looking for, but it's there. Right? What is a lead? Well, how do you know somebody is a lead?
They hit all 4 pillars.
Huh? Qualified buyer or seller, okay.
They hit all 4 pillars and they are motivated to sell.
Okay, great. And if somebody is motivated to sell, they've made the decision to sell. Guys, we are deal finders. We are not deal creators. If you go out there and try to create deals with people that don't want to sell their property, it's not going to happen. That's where we waste a lot of our time, is we're trying to convince people. It's a great market. Don't you want to get top dollar for it? They have to make the decision. I'm telling you, if that's the only thing that you get out of what I'm going to talk about tonight, that is going to just elevate your business so far because you're not going to waste your time with people that'll never do business with you, right? They have to have already made the decision or it's really close. And it's just timeline that we're looking at. So who knows the 4 pillars of pre-qualifying a seller? Just shout.
Motivation, timeline, condition, price.
Condition of the property, we need to know that, right? Timeline, when do they want their money, right? Their motivation, what's their problem? Why won't they just list it with a real estate agent, right? And their price. So every conversation we have, if you're nervous about what do I talk to them about, how do I understand if this is somebody that's going to actually do business with me, that's what we're looking for. Condition, timeline, motivation, and price. That's how we pre-qualify. That's how we don't spin our wheels with people that are just like, I'll sell if you give me the right price. Anybody heard that? Anybody that's ever called somebody that's, yeah, absolutely. I'm going to sell if I get the right price, right? If we focus on the people that will actually do business with us, it cuts out all the noise, all right? It cuts out all the noise and it allows us to do bigger deals. I got a text last week of a student in Charlotte, North Carolina. He did a deal on a fourplex and he made 10 grand and he was feeling pretty good about it. And he did such a good job that the guy that he bought this, did the deal with on the fourplex referred him to his boss. And his boss wanted to get rid of 22 houses, right? Wanted to do a package deal. He ended up negotiating it for 1.7. He wholesaled it for 2 million, right? 2 million. No, 2,010,000. He made 260,000. The people he wholesaled it to sold it for another $350,000. That's $610,000 from one relationship. One call. But you don't have those calls if you're wasting your time trying to convince people to sell. It's not going to happen. Work with the people that have already made that decision to sell. All right? And all of this is all different strategies that you can go after. This is all different ways, different tools in the toolbox. But you don't have to learn them all. This is your decision matrix. All of these things fit in here, right? What happens when you guys are on the phone and somebody's, so this is a really great property. It doesn't need a lot of work. And these are just like, you don't wear open-toed shoes in this house. You know what I'm saying? Like, there are skeletons in this house, real skeletons. Not human, probably cats and rats and shit. But this is a really nice house. This is like a hoarder. This is the price they want. And, you know, the matrix here. So what happens when you find somebody that has a dated house, but they want pretty much retail value? What do?
You negotiate.
But they won't negotiate. They are stuck on this price. They will not come down. Okay. Which one of these strategies will work if they want a higher price?
Seller finance.
Okay. Which one?
Seller finance 8.
Okay. What about novation?
Yeah. 7.
What about seller finance?
Yeah.
What about a wholesale?
Yep.
What about a listing?
Yep.
All these, right? Options, house hack, Burr, group homes, Airbnb, right? We're selling properties at like over retail value right now in Scottsdale because people just want them because they're going to make $300,000 a year off of Airbnbs, right? This is where we make the big money. The big money's with ugly houses and big checks, right? This is where we make the big money, right? Because they don't want much for their house and it's in terrible condition. This is where we make the huge money. We had a gal, we cold called a gal down here in South Phoenix on Desert Lane, right? And my acquisition manager went out there and she called me freaking out. And she's like, I talked to this gal, she only wants $5,000 for her house, right? $5,000. I looked it up on Zillow. It was worth $220,000. It was in good shape. So I run out there like this is a crazy person. This is obviously somebody that's lost it and we, need to get her help. Sharp as can be, real estate broker for over 20 years. And I go, well, what do you think you could put it on the market for? She said, $200,000, no problem. And I said, well, why are you giving me $191,000 worth of equity? I just want you to win. I want you to win big. We sold it for $178,000 in 15 minutes. You know what I'm saying? But you don't have those stories unless you're being proactive. You're not having those stories unless you're getting out there and you're finding these opportunities and building your pipeline of opportunities. So let me give you the numbers on that. Does this make sense, guys? Does this help at all? When you're looking at the different strategies, we're living in this world as a new wholesaler. And guys, if you're just brand new to this, check out my YouTube channel. I break down all of this like 1,000,000 times over. But this is where you want to focus, because this is how you build up your cash so that you can go full-time in our business. But if you've never done a deal, just focus on the first one. That's it, relentlessly, just like Alex was talking about. You just go after it. If you have to talk to 1,000 people to get it, talk to 1,000 people. What's the return on your time? What's the return on your investment? If I was standing behind you at your house, in your kitchen table, and you're making calls to the ugliest properties in town, and I give you $1,000 every hour to make those calls, I would have to tear you off the phone. You would try to call for 100 hours a week, but you won't do it yourself. I know a lot of you will. I'm just being dramatic. But you know what I mean? Like, what do we... It's all right there. Ugly houses. They're going to have to sell at some point. So just drive around and find the ugly houses, find the opportunities, and then build in that consistency. You don't make $1 million, you become $1 million. Does that make sense? You know what I mean? Like, the work is the whole point. The work is becoming. It's the fourth gift that God gave Adam, right? In Genesis. Number 1 was creation. Number 2 was a brain. Number 3 was being around God, God's presence. And number 4 was cultivate your garden. Number 4, before anything else. It's about the work. It's about this process that you're going through. It's about that change. It's about that weird tingling that you feel making your first calls and going on your first appointments. You know, the watery belly that you're like, oh my gosh, I don't know if I'm going to screw this whole thing up or if it's going to work out. That's exciting. That's changing. The work is changing. That's all it is. It's all in creation there. It's all in becoming something else. I'm telling you, put in the work and be super proactive. You cannot lose in this business. There are more ugly houses than there are us. Am I right? 12 million vacant properties have been vacant for over a year in the United States based on the 2020 census. That's bananas. That's just vacant houses. That's just one strategy that you go after. What about the people in pre-foreclosure, divorce, bankruptcy? They're tired landlords. They've owned multifamily that they don't want to mess with. There's so many opportunities.